Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining me again for another session of Star Moment Photography. So today we're going to be talking about my experience using the RF 50mm 1.2L. I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. I know I did. I'm still kind of working off that food. Nothing beats mom's macaroni and cheese casserole. But to get back on track, so this past weekend I got a opportunity to use the RF 50mm on a professional shoot. I did a family session down at Twin Oaks Conservation Area, which is down in Kissimmee. It's a good maybe hour and 15-minute drive from where I'm at. So we drove out there to catch the sunset. Got there around 4:40, 4:45-ish time. And when I say that there's nothing like this lens on the market, like I'm not exaggerating. Like, this lens renders so, like, it has so much character in the way it renders its images. It's very painter-like. It's like you're looking at a painting in the way that it gives a great saturation and contrast with the colors and shadows. It's absolutely mind-boggling. I'm not going to lie. It was very scary for me at first when I first purchased this lens, because it's like, you know, a 50mm lens is normally a focal length that photographers who are just starting out with will normally get, because it's really a jack of all trades lens. It doesn't really excel in any one area because, you know, it's got decent wide angle coverage, so where, you know, if you want to get like a decent environmental portrait, you can. It's great for street photography as far as the focal length, because it's close to what the human eye sees. Like, 50mm is very close to what the human eye actually sees. So basically what you're seeing through your eye is what you're seeing with the 50mm lens, and that's why it's been such a staple for the photographer who, you know, throughout history, because it gives a very natural looking perspective. And but that being said, it was scary for me because of the fact that it wasn't a specialist lens. It didn't specialize in anything particular. It didn't specialize in, you know, my specialty is portraitures and weddings, which the wedding side of things, hey, you can't beat a good 50mm lens, especially in a pinch. If you need something that can do it all, aside from a 24-70, a 50mm would be another great lens to add to that wedding kit. But for me, I would, you know, I typically prefer, you know, like a telephoto lens somewhere between the 85 and 200mm range, because I really love that compression that those lenses give to a subject. It flattens the subject, it brings the background closer, it blurs the background out to oblivion. But I have to say, this 50, it can accomplish that. But it accomplishes it in a way where it gets very hard to simply describe the feel and look that these images give off. So at the end of this video, I'm gonna not only post a link at the bottom of this video, but I'm also going to share some stills that I took with this lens, so you guys can get a little bit of a feel for what exactly this lens can actually do. And one thing that I have to note in operation was that at first it was a little bit difficult to get used to the front heaviness of the lens, particularly, and partially it was my fault because I forgot my strap that I usually strap my camera onto myself with, so I had to constantly be making sure I was gripping the camera good so I wasn't going to drop it. Normally I'll just let my camera hang loose at my side because it's on a strap, but this particular day I was in a rush. I had 2 shoots, and I was out all day, so I didn't have the strap. But that front heaviness aside, it truly was a tank. Where we were at, it was pretty dusty, down the dirt road that we drove down, and then of course, you know, we're outside in nature. Where we shot at the conservation area had tall grass. There's insects flying out of the place, all over the place, but this lens handled it all like a trooper. One other thing I did notice was that despite how big this lens is, and despite how much glass it has to move, locking focus was near instantaneous. Like, it was like, I'll click the half shutter button, boom, focus. I was amazed, because like in past lenses that I've used that have such large elements to move, they're not the quickest to focus. It takes like a second or two to acquire focus. But this lens, the minute it locked onto the eye, boom, focused. And I was truly amazed at that feat. That was one of the things that really blew my mind with this lens. You know, just seeing how quick, not just quick, but accurate that this lens was to focus. Like, every single shot that I focused on the eye of my subject, eye is in tack sharp focus. Like, I've never seen such tack sharpness before in a lens, at least not from my EF lenses. But with this RF lens, like, it is truly a game changer. The way Canon designed these lenses to, you know, they designed the elements to be closer to the imaging sensor, since now the camera doesn't have the mirror in the way. So it makes acquiring focus so much more accurate. And I mean, I've noticed that in just adapting my older Canon lenses onto my R, that they are a lot better focusing and a lot more accurate than they were on my old DSLRs. But with the lenses that are truly designed for the R system, including this 51.2, like, we are going to be seeing some amazing things. If this is any indication of the technology that Canon's been giving us today, like, we're in for some really interesting stuff. And not to stress too much on the size, but we really got to see just how big this lens is. Like, I mean, look at just how girthy this lens is. Look at how big this lens is. And if we could just, like, let's compare it to my iPhone 8 Plus. Like, look at that. They are very similar in size. The iPhone's a little bit longer, but this lens, it's truly massive. So one thing I would say, I would not feel comfortable taking this lens around as just a standard walk around lens, just because of the fact that, you know, number one, it's a big heavy lens, and if you're just walking around casually, you don't necessarily want to be thinking about the weight and all that stuff. But another potential issue I do see with you taking this lens out on just like random excursions is that this lens does scream expensive. It screams like, oh, this guy's got a big, like there's some places that you do not want to take this lens, because people will see it for what it is, and they'll be like, oh, I need to hide this lens because someone's like watching me and whatnot. But the other potential issue that I did notice when using this lens was with the control adapter, actually, and that might be just because I'm still not used to using it. But one thing I noticed was during the shoot, when I'm holding the lens, sometimes my finger will automatically feel onto the control ring, and I'd find myself shooting at an aperture that I wasn't intending to shoot at. So I did notice that I was moving the control ring accidentally. So that is more so due to user error and me needing to actually find a way to adjust my I need to adjust just the way my hand placement is, so I don't accidentally touch that control ring. But other than that, though, the operation of this lens is absolutely phenomenal. It handles like a dream. It feels very premium, sturdy, and I really can't wait to use it during a wedding setting. And just like, especially with those wedding settings, I really want to see what my wedding couples will say when they see the images rendered with this lens. Because I can tell you from the when I showed the couple that I shot with this Sunday the images that I shot with this lens, they were completely amazed. They were blown. They were like, "Whoa! Look at this! This looks like a painting. Like, this looks so great. Da, da, da. Like, it's so sharp. The colors are so rich. Like, you're so good." And this lens, it's really, it's great. So this is just like a little, more of a emotional type of a review. I want to do some more heavy testing with it before I give like a full verdict. But this initial review that I'm giving of my usage of it, I am completely satisfied with the money that I put into this lens. It's an investment. So without further ado, I'll let you guys take a look at the images I shot with this lens this past weekend, and stay tuned for next time. Next time we're going to be reviewing the 24 to 70 RF lens, which is actually mounted on the camera right now. So we can't wait to show you that review, and then look later down the line towards the end of this year for a more long-term review of the RF 50mm 1.2. So thank you guys for watching this video. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Hit the subscribe button, and you guys stay safe out there. Have a great night.